All right, guys, let's dive into this conversation about honoring our veterans. This week, every Keller Williams office throughout the United States is having this conversation with some veterans in their communities. And I actually am going to walk out on a limb here and see if I can pull this off. Sharing a video from from Carl Liebert, who is the CEO of KWX, the holding company that KW, Keller Offers, Keller Mortgage, and all of our entities belong to. He has put together for us about this experience. So let's see if I can get this to play. Hopefully you are looking at my screen and a veteran pen.
Hey team, we're so fortunate to have so many veterans representing Keller Williams as our partners, our agents, and our team members. Whether you served in the Army, the Navy, the Marines, Air Force, Space Force, Coast Guard, the National Guard, or in the reserves, you are bound together by a commitment to protect our people, our country, and our freedom. You and the partners and families who supported you have given and sacrificed so much to serve. Today, we want to honor you. As a symbol of our appreciation for you and your service, please accept the KW military pen you are receiving on behalf of our KW family. I wear mine proudly each and every day. It reminds me of the family I serve at KW, the country I served as a veteran in the United States Navy, and it keeps in mind that our role as leaders in this fantastic company of service to others. As a company, we want to do more for active duty military, veterans, and reservists as well, along with our partners and their families who have unique needs when it comes to home ownership. As veterans, you understand the pressures that come with constantly moving, leaving family behind while serving, and transitioning out of the military, all the things that go with that. I reflect on my military service a lot. I remember my first year on active duty, a ship out of Norfolk, Virginia, and being away from my wife, who's been with me for almost 34 years now, and being away from her for over 330 days that first year on deployments around the world. Our second year was a little better. I was only away 300 plus nights. But I know the sacrifices she and my family members made to support me as I was serving my country and serving throughout the world. As agents, many of you serve military and former military clients. Knowing what they need to feel supported and confident in their home selling and buying experience. Building on that strong foundation, today I'm proud to unveil a new service offering to those of you who serve those who serve. We're calling it KW Military. Our vision is to be the real estate company of choice for service members and their families across the full life cycle of their military careers and beyond. We want to give you the tools you need to provide an integrated home ownership experience to these individuals and families. Agents who join KW Military will have access to specialized training, premier coaching, events, and referral opportunities. As we roll out KW Military, we will continue to partner with our agents and teams that focus on giving a personalized experience and value to military service members and, of course, their families. We're working closely with military affinity groups, and we recognize their contributions and value to agents, their clients, and our company. This is a team effort. It's only the beginning. We're planning more ways to share appreciation and provide support to veterans and military families, whether they are partners, agents, or clients. We'll share more in February at Family Reunion, but for now, reach out to your regional director, your market center leadership team to find out more. Thank you for all that you have done and all that you do. Most importantly, thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifices. And thanks for making KW a better place to work for veterans, their families, and all the communities that we serve. Together, we're one team. Thanks.
All right. I hope that came across good for everybody. A really, really awesome thing that our organization, our global organization, is taking advantage of. You're going to see some fanfare around this come Thursday, which is Veterans Day. There will be a website to launch shortly thereafter. The official launches will be at Family Reunion 2020, but know that, you know, and a reminder for anyone who hasn't, please let us know if you are an active duty military, military reservist, retired military, military spouse, or military family member. Very impactful for us to know that as we aim to support this community's growth and success inside of our market center. And as Carl mentioned in that video, everyone who identified is able to be identified as a veteran will receive this pin along with a note from our market center as a thank you for your service and for supporting the growth of this community. So for today's conversation, I'm going to stop the share here and pin a few people to the big board and have a conversation. Let's see if I can multiple pin here. All right, looking for one more. Jill, if you can. There you are. Hey, good morning. So, you know, didn't mean to pin you, Art. Sorry. Just going for Nikki. And so we've got a few folks to join us today that have different relationships with the idea of veteran status, whether it be spouses or family members or themselves that serve. And so want to have a conversation with them about that, learn a little bit more about what we can do and what we do as realtors to support veterans and their families. So if we could start, we'll start. Marie, tell us a little bit about yourself, current service status, family members in the service. What's the headline?
All right, am I active now?
You are.
Okay. Next month will mark 16 years in the Air Force Reserves. I've served 100% of the time at the 910th Airlift Wing in Youngstown, Ohio. But I've gotten to travel all over the United States. My dad served as a Marine in the Marine Corps in Vietnam, and my uncle was in the Navy, and my grandfather was Marine Corps in the Korean War. So I came from a military family, but I am the first female military serving member in our family. So awesome, excellent. We'll circle back to you for some insights there. Jill, why don't you tell us a little bit about your military family?
My son is a United States Marine, and he's been in for 3 years, and he's just decided to stay in, and he wants to pursue special forces. I think because he was born in that post 9/11 era, he came out kind of marching, and I think it was a call for him. But besides that, my dad was in the reserve. He was a policeman. His two older brothers were in Korean War. One of them was a POW and got out alive. And then I had another uncle who was in the Vietnam War, and a grandfather who was in World War II.
Excellent. Well, Sure, sure we'll circle back and learn a little bit more about your son and his service and what we can learn from that. I'll throw it over to Nikki. Nikki, you are a military spouse, if memory serves, correct?
Yes, I actually have quite a bit of military background and family. Excuse me. My first husband was a Navy squid. My second husband, he served in the Army in the Korea War. My stepdad served in the Army. He was a minister there, and of course, heard many stories about him baptizing soldiers in the ocean. So, and then my brother and a sister had served in the Air Force for years. So, yeah, so it's been a part of my life for a while. Yes. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you for agreeing to join us. I'll throw it back to Marie first. Any major lessons learned from your time as a reservist that you've carried over into your real estate career? Anything that you feel like gives you an advantage as a realtor, having been a reservist?
Well, I will say, first and foremost, I've kind of, when you go into boot camp, you have to memorize certain sayings, and you have to memorize the Air Force core values and the Airman's Creed, and that is part of your memory work. And it has been ingrained in me for the last 16 years, service before self, excellence in all you do. And I just think that that's kind of the motto that I live by. The other lessons learned is, you really do have the ability to do anything you set out to do. When I enlisted, I chose my job. I enlisted as a medic. With that being said, I did not have a whole lot of interest in medical, in the medical profession. I was not into science whatsoever. I actually had a performing arts background. I was a professional ballet dancer, actually. And I traveled. I lived in New York City. I lived in Las Vegas, and I was in the arts. And I got injured, and I kind of got out, fell out of the art world. So in some ways it was a very different culture, but in other ways it kind of flowed right in, because of the discipline and all of that. But it was a little bit daunting to take on a new career. And at the time, I could not stand blood and guts. You cut yourself, and I would be like, ugh. I was so grossed out. But the Air Force gave me the opportunity, that you can do it. You're going to learn a little bit of the didactic work, but you're going to get thrown into these scenarios where you don't have time to really think about the disgusting or like what you're doing. You think about providing that care for, that military member. And I think that's kind of what has transpired, in the real estate. Like, if I can do that, I can do this. And any scenario that I get thrown into, it's like, okay, what's the worst that can happen? You just do it. You just be uncomfortable, be in those uncomfortable situations, and you're going to get through it. And I just think like it really did showcase for me that I can overcome any of my fears that I had. And so, it just kind of coincides with this transition I had into real estate.
Yeah, I mean, I heard scripts are apparently very important, and then I'm sure anyone who's worked a little bit of a bumpy deal probably feels like they've done some field triage. So I think that sounds like you've got a really strong background or transition there. I want to throw it back over to Jill and Nikki. Different perspectives for you two with family members, spouses or children serving, but anything that served as like a surprise, or anything that you see your son's compatriots going through or dealing with that you're like, wow, that's something that, you know, I wouldn't expect them to have to deal with from a real estate or a housing or anything like that? Like any ahas or surprises in watching family members, you know, grow their time in the service?
I think we haven't gotten quite there yet because he's
Mhm.
still like got a college mindset, which to him, you know, it's the here and now. But I like what Marie said that, and thank you, Marie. I think that you can do anything. And I think that as, you know, now for me, I'm new to Keller Williams, but I think coming in and knowing what I know, I just think that we need to be patient, and I think we need to appreciate. And you know, recently when I was visiting Niagara Falls, and a family had wheeled their grandpa up to the edge so that he could watch the falls, and he had his veteran cap on. And there were so many distractions going on around young people taking selfies and whatnot. And I just like, I get so emotional, and I had to go up to them, and, you know, I think to talk to them, like make them feel like they matter. You know, we don't know what other people are going through, or what they've seen, or what they do go through. And I think we just need to be patient and appreciate them, and just meet them where they are, kind of. I know that's kind of a spin. It doesn't have anything to do with my son, but thanks for the
I
opportunity.
think that's incredibly valuable piece of perspective for anybody, especially our veterans and active duty service members, you know, for the way that we approach people and our intentionality and being present in the moment. That's amazing. Nikki, anything that you would want to add there? You're muted. You're muted, Nikki.
Not much more, but because I didn't choose to follow the military trail, I did choose another area where I could give back and help. And just I became a nurse, and even with real estate, I affiliate myself with the Homes for Heroes program. That not only focus on veterans, but any of our frontline workers as well. And I had the opportunity to speak with an individual that served in the Army and was going through PTSD. And I just had to, also there were some other issues that this person was having. And so just being able to meet her where she was, and to listen, and to see what she was trying to get to, and in her life right now, which was, oh, I need home. I need, I have a dog that I just adopted, and I want him to be a pet service worker. And so a lot of things on her plate that she was trying to accomplish, but so much other things. So even with being in the military, being in the service, sometimes these individuals, they do come out injured, not just physically, but emotionally as well. So we have to be able to meet people where they are, you know, as Jill said. And I thank Marie for serving as well. So it makes me feel good, even with that program that I'm affiliated with. You know, it does take some of that capital from me, but it's not about the money, the monetary. It's about the giving back and being able to help those people get to what they're looking for, a safe haven for themselves. So, yeah.
I love that, and thank you for all that you do to support that community. And Nikki and Jill, thank you both for participating this morning. I know I had to do a little arm twisting, as neither of you really initially felt super comfortable with the conversation, but appreciate you providing perspective for all of our agents and everyone who's going to see this. Because, you know, if anything, if a home is anything, it's a place for families. And so when individuals serve, families end up serving as well. And so I think that it's a great piece of perspective you add. Marie, I'll let you bring it home for us. Is there anything that you would want all of our agents to know as they might be serving or working with somebody from the veteran community or active duty military or reservist? Is there any advice that you would give or things that you would want them to know or do to better support those individuals throughout their real estate process?
The one thing that came to mind is that there are a wide variety of veterans out there. Myself, I've never deployed overseas. I don't know how I've managed to not deploy, but I just haven't. But I've done a lot of service here in the States. And, you can have the people who, spend years, in Afghanistan and Iraq and seeing things there. But, when people don't deploy, it doesn't mean that they haven't seen things or haven't gone through things. Working in the stateside hospitals, I have absolutely seen a lot of things. So I think that just being patient with your clients that are veterans and understanding that we all come from, different backgrounds, but we all come together to serve, for our mission to protect and serve our country. And if you have a desk job, that you should not discredit, a veteran for having a desk job versus being security forces or being, special forces. We all have a unique perspective and background that we bring to the table, and just be patient. A lot of veterans that are struggling they're not open books. They won't walk up to you and say, "Hey, I'm Joe and I have PTSD." So sometimes it comes off as odd behavior or, a little bit weird, or you don't understand why someone is having a reaction like that. And I guess my ask to everyone else in the real estate industry is just to be patient and just to understand and stay the course and try not to judge. And, from the bottom of my heart, I thank everyone for their support. I hear it a lot, like when I'm out in the community in my uniform, people stop and they thank me, but it's really everyone else's support that we need and that we count on. So thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you, ladies, for being a part of this morning. And thank you for all of your insights. Greatly appreciated. And then I'll just give one more plug for everything related to KW Military. You're going to see some more stuff coming out. If there's an opportunity or you'd identify somebody or someone in our ecosystem that needs to be included or incorporated into that, by all means, please let us, anyone in the leadership, know, and we'll make sure that they can tap into all those resources. But thank you all very much for your time this morning. For everyone who was there participating yesterday, thank you again for a great session. And if you missed out on the business planning clinic yesterday, you don't have to miss out. Saturday morning, 9 a.m., November 20th, we will be doing the business planning clinic light version. So please join us for that. All right, guys, have a wonderful week and happy Veterans Day early happy Veterans Day to all of those who it applies. Have a wonderful week, team.